Hey fam, what's good? Welcome back to the podcast. This is Winter. Please make sure you're following me on Instagram and Twitter at Lil Snowbabe. That is at LilSnowBabe. I'm so glad to have you tuning into today's episode of the podcast, and I really hope you enjoy it. It's always gonna
Yeah,
be, forever gonna be
yeah.
nude.
And I got white now because my birthday was a few weeks ago, and my nail tech was like, Danita, if you don't get another color, I'm going to try. I'm not doing your nails. And so I was like, oh my god. So I was like, let's do white because I usually get clear. But yeah, like you said, it's just a lifestyle. I just neutrals just make me comfortable. It just yeah, even like in my home, and you might say I'm crazy. Like if I have a Post-it that's like pink, I will put it underneath my table because I don't like looking at it. It bothers me, and I don't.
Well, colors hold energy, right? And colors
Yeah,
also hold memory.
yeah,
So, and it's also the second time you mentioned pink. So, and I listen like that. But what I'm saying this all to say that, colors hold more than just like being pretty, right? Things. So look at, they hold weight, they hold energy, they hold memories. And
yeah.
so that's also why I think sometimes people will transition over to like a lighter, right, style of clothing, a lighter style of dress in terms of color, shape, and silhouette. Because again, you're transforming the energy, like, in which you're allowing on yourself and within yourself, but also around yourself. Because like you said,
Yeah,
there were certain kind of people you were attracting that you were like, I do not want to attract these kind
yeah,
of people around me. And so when you
yeah,
started dressing differently, you wearing different kind of colors, different
yeah,
silhouettes, those people had a perception, right, and were no longer interested.
yeah.
And you were like, good, glad, I'm happy, because I don't want you to be
Mm-hmm.
around and be interested or be intrigued. You are not the energy, like, let alone
Mm-hmm.
just the kind of person. You're just not the kind of energy, right, that I'm
Yeah,
trying to invite in. Which is why, again, I'm very impressed and I love your packaging, because I also think it invites a certain kind of energy into a person's space. Because candles, at least to me, are very personal. They're
mm-hmm.
very personal. And I don't think that people should just buy the same as incense. I don't think you should just buy your candles and incense from like any old place, any old person.
Exactly. Because you
Um
don't know.
yeah, because if they're making them, you're not buying these from a factory. You're sitting here making these candles by yourself. Like,
Bye.
these are your recipes,
Thoughts.
right? With
Yeah.
your thoughts and energy. Like, these are your literal recipes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could come a day where there's a bigger candle brand and they buy one of your candles and they are so in love with the recipe. They're like, we will offer you $10 million, like, for this
Mhm.
proprietary blend of soy wax.
Exactly.
And you'll be like, well, shit, here. Because again, it's not really so much about the recipe, it's about yourself. So it's like you could
Mm-hmm.
always come up with another 10 million, 20 million, $30 million, right, proprietary
Recipe. Yeah.
blend. So it's just like, when I think about someone sitting here making a candle, mixing up the wax, like pouring it, to me, that is a very mechanical but spiritual process.
Yeah.
And so how, like how is this process, especially during this time, right? Like, really helping you, I guess, sort of keep yourself, you know what I mean, grounded with everything like going on.
Um, so it just again it gives me something to do. I love being that I love candles. It's just I don't know. It's keeping me calm, collective. I am going a little insane.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm starting to play with different scents. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing that are more calming. So one candle like I've been burning for the last 2 weeks is sage and rosemary
Oh, I love
because it
that.
just gives me that calming feel. And so I've been working with fragrances that have those two. Well, those and a little bit more. It's been helping. Um, I don't even know. It's these 2 weeks have
I
been,
mean, these are crazy times. These are very interesting times.
and I feel like we've been because I'm in California. We've been on lockdown since the 16th. So
Yeah.
what, 3 weeks? So it's at first it was like okay, I'm still on my routine.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool, and then going into my third week, I'm like okay, this is I need
Right.
something to do. Like I done made all my supplies. I done did all this. Like what is there to do? But it's been helping with me. Um, staying a little calm. And then when I do burn my candles, I usually burn certain candles while I meditate. I like to meditate a lot.
Oh, so you do the same thing? I do scent association as well. I burn certain
Yeah.
incense. So even if I'm lighting the incense and I might not be trying to meditate, I associated meditation with that scent.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to go into meditation regardless.
Yeah. And I just, so usually it would usually be my every single day candle or my homely candle, which is the sage and rosemary. Because when I burn sage, it's just, it gets me into my zone of when I want to start, meditating, doing my yoga, or even scripting. I like to script and manifest my things, like you were saying.
Yeah, I'm big on that. I have this vanilla incense that I love, and when I burn that, I'm writing.
Yeah,
because I went to school for English. Yeah, so I'm writing. I either bust out a short story real quick, or I'm writing down some manifestation goals. But that candle, when I smell that, and that specific scent vanilla, because it's not just like vanilla, it's like African Madagascar vanilla, so it's a specific kind of vanilla. But when I smell that scent, I'm like, ooh, I gotta let me write something real quick. Like, let me just write that down.
It starts to bring things to you.
Yes. Now, is there a reason that you work with soy wax? Because as someone who loves candles, I am not well versed enough to really understand why people do soy wax. Why, I don't know the differences between, I guess, waxes or grades, levels of wax. I don't know what y'all call it.
Waxes. So there's soy wax, there's coconut wax, there's beeswax, of course, and there's paraffin wax. So paraffin wax is basically what a lot of brands make, like Bath and Body Works has a lot of toxins.
Yeah.
And so, reason I wanted to try, beeswax was just out of.
The bees. Say the bees. So that was already a dub.
So, my family's like, Danita, they think I'm crazy, but I'm like, no, seriously, it takes over the environment. You have to really research it. So I was like, beeswax is just, it's not even on the list.
Yeah.
And then it was soy wax and coconut wax. Now, I really wanted to try coconut wax, and I still do for certain candles, but I'm just not sure if people who are allergic to candles, when it burns, I don't know if it will affect
the
them.
coconut.
Exactly. And I don't want to have candles that not everyone. Again, I want my candles to be used for everyone. So
right.
Soy wax was the best wax to pick from. It's kind of a harder wax to work with. It's easy and hard because you have to figure out what temperature. That's another thing. You have to figure out what temperature you need to add the fragrance oils, and then what temperature you need to pour. It's a lot that goes into it.
Oh, so it's not even just it's the temperature in which you make it, and then there's a specific temperature for even just pouring it. And see what I'm saying? It's not simple, y'all.
Yeah. So each wax type is what it's called. Has its own temperature. Again, this is things you have to play around with and understand and try to learn. And that's why I say, it takes a little bit of money to actually have a business, because you have to test out your product. You cannot just make something and put it out.
Yeah.
It's because then it's okay, well, I bought your candle and I don't smell nothing. Oh, I burnt your candle and half of your candle isn't burning. Because I had that problem when I first started making candles, but luckily it was my family helping me test them, and they was like, Danita, it's not burning all the way. It's certain wicks and diameters. You have to really take your time.
It's a science. Candle making is a science, and I think people really underplay that. And I think it's important to really get into that conversation that candle making is a science. It's almost like baking. You have to follow the recipe, because if you don't, it's not going to turn out what it needs to be. You can't freestyle really when you're making a candle, because you can fuck it all up. You can fuck up a whole batch of candles,
and then you just wasted all this money, and
right?
You're buying more, and you're wasting more money and more money. And that's why I tell a lot of people that ask me well, how do I how do I make candles? And I'll go through it, and they're like, well, where do a lot of my candle brands come from? Candle supplies come from a local business out here, and so they don't have a website. You have to go into the store. Right. So I try to explain that to them, and I'm not trying to hold out information.
Right, just that they literally are not that accessible. So
Exactly.
unless you're gonna
If you
come here, I don't.
Yeah, and so I try to give people other alternatives, and I have had people tell me like, "Danita, don't give all your information away." It's like, regardless if I do, my brand is my brand.
I was
Long
about
as
to
the
say that
long
regardless,
as the
like
candle does not say Shariko, and a lot of people think it's Shariko, which is not. It's Shari because that's my middle name. Um, but as long as it does not say Shariko, I do not have a problem. Your candle will never, it will just
but
not be mine.
even with that, like so I have a friend, her name is Marie. She is the CEO and the owner of Moonex Cosmetics. And she's Par Moonex on Twitter. And the same thing with her when she started doing her YouTube series and like kind of doing her IG lives and everything. People were really like, oh, like don't give everything away. Same thing with Atira Lions, right, with the do rags.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like they could both sit there and literally give you the step-by-step playbook, and Marie can give you all the ingredient list, the exact blend or whatever. Atira could sit there and give you the exact pattern. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make it like Atira. You're not going to make it like Marie. I don't think people understand that. It's the reason why your granny can give you the recipe for her cake and it still don't taste like hers.
Exactly.
Like,
so it's just like, it's so much. And that's another thing. Like, everybody's so money hungry. I get everybody wants to be successful, but it's a way you go about these things. And
right.
If you're going off as I just want to make money, it's gonna fail. A lot of people can just read you and figure this out. Like so that's why I don't really have a problem with sharing as much information I can. Like I will tell you where I get this, that, and that's how you do it. But again, you will have to do your own science.
Right. But I think that's why it's important that, like, again, like I was saying, when I go to your personal Instagram, but even when I go to your business Instagram, none of these images really read like product images. They just look like you're in your friend's house or you're in your house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the candle is there. Like, you just took a picture of your friend's, dining room table and, look, there's the candle. Like, and I think that's people miss a lot when even starting their own businesses and brands. Like, this has to be a part of your lifestyle. Yeah. So, like, they're always interested in selling the product. And it's like, don't sell the product, sell the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. People are more interested in acquiring the lifestyle than they are in acquiring the product. That's why, like, you could sell your candle for $18 and someone can make the same candle and sell it for $45, but they can only sell 2 candles a month and you can sell 8,000 candles a week. You know what I mean? So it's like, clearly it's not about the price. It's not about it's the lifestyle. It's the experience. Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you really want something and you have the money to buy it,
you're going to buy it, right?
So it's like, okay, yeah.
And that's what I like. You really are promoting a lifestyle, but we can tell that you are also living this lifestyle. Because, see, there are people who make candles, make lip gloss, make all types of shit, but you don't never see them with it. You know? And so I'm like, now why should I buy your candle if I don't never see you have your candle in your house?
Yeah. And that's another thing, like, I noticed, like, even when I sometimes post it on my blogging page, and I might not get as many likes on that post, but at least you see that I'm actually burning, I'm actually using it. This is, I want you to see that it's not just, here you go, but I don't even use it myself. I just use Bath and Body Works,
right? And people forget that. Like, I mean, there are so many brands. And there are brands that, like, I love myself, even that I support and I buy from. But rarely do you see the owner promoting it, like, on their personal or just in their life. And I do know for some of them, it's because they're fearful, because they feel like, if I'm always putting my product and my, my stuff, like, people think I'm just trying to push it. But I'm like, but you're not. I'm like, it's really a part of your life. Like, I know if I go over to your house, I'm going to see your body wash in your shower. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why don't you show people the body wash in your shower? Like, take a cute pic. Exactly. Like, I know you use your body wash, but that's also, I think that comes from, like, I call it flex culture. Mm-hmm. And there's unintentional and there's intentional, like, flex culture, right? And unintentional flex culture is, like, you're not trying to flex. People are saying you flexing. The intentional is you flexing. And we know you flexing. And I think there's a thin line when people own their own businesses and make their own products, especially when these are lifestyle products, right? Things that are going to be in someone's, everyday life and their routine. I think a lot of business owners struggle with like, how do I incorporate my product, right, into my life? But it's always been there, but now I'm selling it, right? Now I'm profiting off of it. How do I market this in a way in which people feel like, oh, it's natural, and not so much like, oh, there she go, putting her, wig back in her pit. Oh, there she go, like showing us them fucking dusty ass shoes again, and she's selling. You know what I mean? Even though it's like, okay, but she does wear these shoes every day, like because she made them, like, and they're bomb. And I think that for anyone listening, like if you are interested in seeing like what that looks like, master, y'all need to be following. Okay, like they need to be following you, because I feel like you have truly mastered that balance of like, I'm going to show you my product pretty much every damn day and in almost every post that I make, but it is never going to feel like a sales pitch.
Exactly. Like, and that's what I don't want to, like, when I do post something, if it's on like my personal page, I'll explain like how I did my self-care routine, or how I added, like, I like interior design, and that's what I'm starting to go to school for, is interior design and architecture. And so, so if I'll build a shelf on my IG story, then I'll just place my candle on the shelf. It's little things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's little things, and details, and just don't come off as spammy and like, here, buy, look. Here. Yeah. So it's like, well, it's here if you need it.
If you need it, just to let y'all know, I built this shelf, but also this candle though, like, it's on the shelf. Well, I also think too, in your post, you're also not always linking the candles. Like sometimes they're just there, like they're just a product. You know what I mean? Like they just happen to be on the mantelpiece, like on the coffee table, like, and the post has nothing to do about the candle, but it's smart and it's great marketing because again, you're familiarizing, right, your followers and your supporters and potential customers, and old customers, they see them go, oh, you know what, that candle did just finish. Let me go, replenish. Or the person who's been thinking about it, they're like, damn, this is the fourth post today, that I've seen featuring this candle. Maybe I should go
and
buy
I will look and like my analytics and, oh, this post did have 5 shares. Why they share that, or
right.
Or I have 6 saves, and it's just little things. Even if I like go through a day, because I am still small and I know, and there's days where I will go and I won't have any purchases, but I still have page views, or I've had people visit my website. It's just little things that still make me like, okay, well, I'm still in the game. People are still,
Yeah, and how do you work through, I guess, those feelings, right, during those days where, like, there are no sales? Because sometimes it's not just a day. With me, right, I deal with real-life clients, so I ain't getting nobody today. People are humble and grateful and blessed, and I'm happy people are still sending me what would have been their appointment, right? So I appreciate y'all, love y'all. But, like, how do you just deal with those days where you're like, okay, like, this pic got, 400 likes, but nobody bought a candle, like,
it, like, let me see. It used to bother me at first, but I had to realize when I first started, but then I had to, like, Danita, you're still small.
Right.
People have bills.
True.
I just had to, it takes people a few times before they're actually going to buy it. And
that's true.
As long as I see that, even if I do a post on Twitter about my candle, or let me say, I didn't get sales for 4 days or something like that, and it's just like, okay, how can I boost this up? Then all of a sudden someone will do a tweet like, taking the day off, about to burn my candle from Sharico and da-da-da-da. Then I'm like, okay, well, at least people still see. Then I'll go to my website analytics, and I see that people are checking. So it's still, even though I'm not bringing in that cash flow, I'm still receiving visitors.
There's still value in the potential. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's still value in the, okay, no one purchased today, but my website got 300 views. So, like, those 300 views may very well convert into, 50 orders tomorrow.
Exactly. And so I just don't try to think about it as so much of the money. Even though, I do have a business and you need
right. Like, I too have bills to pay. So. Yeah.
But I just, take it day by day. And, sometimes when I get into my prayer, and I'm like,
listen,
make your way, Lord.
period. Some days really have to get into the word. Have to get into the word to make it to the next day.
Like I'll go through the day, and I'm like, I wish I just get an order today. And one order this week will make me happy.
Right.
And then 2 days later, it just popped up. I'm like, see? There we go. So I don't really it doesn't bother me as much as it used to. Mm-hmm. And being that I do have other sources of income, that's another thing. It's just not,
Right. This is not your sole source of income. So it's like, if I don't make, the sales that I would like today, I'm making that money up with my secondary, third, whatever, sources of income. But how do you balance that, right? Because you are a blogger, you are influencer, you are doing these things. So how do you manage doing both?
Work
and also, just everything else, just all your creativity. Yeah. But at the end of the day, one of your creative passions is also your business. So you do have to treat it a little differently than your other creative passions.
Yeah. So for one, the work I do, I work for also a small business. So it's a local boutique that works here. And so I help her do social media marketing and things like that. Mm-hmm. So when I'm at the store, most of the time I can sit there and write a blog post because, it's a small store. We don't really get too many customers. We get online things, but I don't handle that type of work. So that's how I can find time to sit there and maybe just write out a blog post or ideas for a blog post, or try to type out some new scents I want to do, brainstorm. I just try to find little time in my day. And most of the time I do work from home anyways.
Right.
So it's easier for me. I know some people, I have a friend that works a corporate job and she has her own skincare brand. So it's that's what I'm like, girl, how do you fit this into life?
Right.
But for me, it's a little bit easier because my job is a little bit easier than most. And I do have a lot more free time. Mm-hmm. So that's how I can just sit there and balance. And then a planner. Planners are so important.
I invested in a planner and it changed my life. It changed my life.
I'm a planner. Okay, so Tuesday, we're going to do photography for Shariko, and then I'm going to write this blog post. On Wednesday, I have this, that, I'm a planner. So planning really helps me stay on track of things. Sometimes I do fall off, but, for the most part, just planning out my days, trying to plan out my weeks has helped me.
Feel it. Now, do you fall into the camp of people who, because, there's this fake great debate on Twitter, with small business owners who there's been kind of a divide, right? So there are those who feel like, your friends and family are not your customers, so don't expect it. If they don't buy something, get out your feelings, right? And there's this side who are like, I don't know about that, right? Because once you get on, them same people are going to be asking for a free candle or a discount or, a post because you now have, 40K followers, blah, blah, blah. So, where do you fall on that spectrum of, are your friends and family your customers? Should they be your first buyers? Does it even matter? Or is it, very much so? And if they don't, that's very telling about your relationship with your friends and family.
Exactly. That's kind of hard to say. For me, personally, I can only speak for myself.
Right.
My family. I have to sometimes tell my family, it's okay. You already bought this. Thank you. And I appreciate them so much. My sister, every candle I drop, she buys. Every candle. Uh-oh. And then my mom, every candle, my nephew. So I have that support within my family. And even my closest friends that I hang out with, they support me. Even if, because a lot of my friends are still in college. So even if they can't purchase that repost that, hey, come to my friends, things like that. So it's kind of hard for me to say. I feel like if you have friends and family around you, they should support you because
that's how I feel. I felt they should support you. I don't think it's that difficult. If you don't have the $18 to buy a candle, that's cool. But you could definitely share the post. That's free.
Exactly.
That costs nothing.
A lot of people who feel like, oh, you shouldn't. Now, I've had times where I've had a friend not support me at all. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I used to get in my feelings about that. Like, you don't post nothing about my business, but you're my quote unquote friend. But I had to realize that's just the type of person she is.
Right.
You know, her mom had a business. Didn't know until I went to her house. She don't even talk about that. So I'm like, oh, this is just you. So
right.
That's how I had to get out my feelings. Like, oh, it's not personal. It's just who you are. So, but back to what you were saying, I think, I mean, why wouldn't you want to support your friend?
That's
I don't
how I feel.
I don't understand that part. That's just me.
Well, because I feel like, you know, obviously nobody's obligated to buy, purchase, or support anything you do. So true. But I just feel like if these people are constantly around you, you know what I mean? And they know you're doing this and they see you, watch you, you know, and they can't do so much as share a post.
Exactly.
Then I feel like, but there's a problem.
Go and buy, they can share this person with 500 comedian things.
Yeah, like I'm like, what?
I personally don't understand what's so hard about supporting your friend because, yeah, $18. And then a lot of, if I can go on and on about this, but like, it just amazes me. And even people like I know now, I've had people like, well, your candles are kind of pricey. And I just say, okay.
They're $18. Bath and Body Works candles are $24.50. Yeah. What are you talking about? Without shipping added, mind you.
Exactly. So I just say, okay, like, well, it's just not for you. You want to spend that much money. People who are going to, you're going to spend money on
what you want. So, yeah, if you don't want to buy my candle.
So you telling me my candle is too expensive isn't really changing my mind. I'm not going to
lower my price.
You catch me on sale day, but I'm not going to change my price or give you a free product just because you think it's too pricey, because honestly it's not. I've seen candles for $75.
I was going to say your candles are extremely affordable because the company that I work for, right, that's my day job, we sell candles literally smaller than your candles for literally $80. Exactly. So I'm like, once again, there's always room for you in your market. Exactly. And so people are going to spend money on what they want. Like,
and I feel like, a lot of people just, I don't know, it's weird. Especially here in the Bay Area. I can't speak for anywhere else, but the lack of support there is among everyone here, it just feels like everybody here is in such a competition. And I don't understand why. And I say this a lot. This is why so many artists and so many, writers and stuff have such a hard time getting anywhere, because you guys always want to pull each other back.
Instead of,
and that's
working laterally, like Issa Rae told all of us we should look into more. We need to work laterally. Stop trying to work up. Who's next to you? Who is standing right next to you? Maybe that's the person that needs to take your product images. Maybe that friend of yours that can sing, maybe she needs to make your jingle for your commercial. Like, maybe you need to work with the people standing right next to you instead of trying to get people who are standing in front of you or above you.
Exactly. It's just that part is so frustrating. It's just like, honestly, like when I first started, a lot of people I knew, like, weren't my friends, but I knew them. It's just, it was no support. It's like, where is the support here? But then I started shipping out of state. Again, like New York comes to me a lot. You know, the South, all these places. LA. And LA is like an 8-hour drive from here.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I'm receiving. That's when I started to get out of my feelings about the support at home. Even though it's like, it's your home, you should want to see people doing well, but it's like,
but then again, I think people should even anticipate people who are from your hometown actually not wanting to see you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because you figured out things that they did not and have not and might never, right?
Exactly.
So like, people, they may be the first ones to be like, okay, you make some little candles, all right? Don't care.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, that's when I have to just get on my feelings about it. I'm like, it is what it is. I've shipped to Canada. Like, I'm moving around the world. Like, I'm not even, so, but I mean, I get a lot of support here now in 2020, but it's just like, when at first people didn't really, well, what is it? It's a candle. Like, I don't.
That's what I mean. But like you said, you're moving around, you're shipping, like, there are people outside of where you live, right, who are obviously supporting or very generous with their support when it comes to your product. So it's like, whether, and that's what I tell people all the time, like, whether or not the people right next to you are supporting, like, someone is going to reach out and want to support you. And I feel like what we have all discovered with Twitter, with Instagram, right, Facebook, YouTube, especially, like, there are strangers, you know, like, people who have never met you, who are ready to support you, who are ready to spend hundreds of dollars, right, to make sure you succeed. And they might never meet you, like, in their whole life. They may never physically see you, but they have supported you with hundreds of, you know, tens of thousands of dollars because they bought that candle. Every time there was a candle, they bought 4. You know, like, and that's just how people are.
Like that, and I appreciate them so much. It's like, girl, I've never met you. You've never seen me. You don't know how I act. But they let me know, like, just my presence, again, from my Instagram.
But you can feel what I'm saying. You can feel the energy. You can feel the presence. But also, I can, just from display alone, images alone, I can see why your candle performs very well in New York. Like, I can see why there's so many. Vibe. Yeah, it's just that vibe. It's just that energy. Like, I don't know how long you want to stay where you living at or whatever, but, like, if you have plans.
I'm trying to come visit out there.
Listen, let me know, okay? Because when we can get on the plane again and we can go outside. Sister, you are welcomed. Like, you are welcomed. Listen, we have what is this, a 3-bedroom? It was technically a 4-bedroom apartment, but we have 1 bedroom that's a guest room. So we have the space. All I'm saying is you tell me.
Like, girl, we will be keeping in contact. I will be
period. Because I'm like, you need to be somewhere different. Like, you just need to be somewhere different.
Even like LA. Like,
yes,
for me, like, because LA is 8 hours away, and again, everybody be like, you don't have to move to LA, but it's like, if people move to where they know they're going to be.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, yeah, nobody needs to move anywhere, but we also know where certain markets are, and we also know like where different kind of success will follow. So it's like, yeah, nobody needed to move to LA, but like, look what it did for people, you know, like.
Exactly. It's like, you know, you never know. I might be opening up a little Shari Cold Candle and More shop somewhere in New York.
I would support the hell. Like, I would be over the fucking moon.
Even that was, I really, yeah. So, and that's another thing. I believe, like you were saying, in manifestation, I have me a little book. I write down everything.
It's extremely important. I look back at my little manifestation journal and everything I wrote down since 2015 has happened. So I'm like, it's real out here, y'all. Write it down.
Exactly.
It's one thing to say it. It is one thing to say it, but my great grandma always told me, if you were going to make anything become real, you have to cast a spell. And so what can you do? Spell it out. So, spell it out. Okay? Spell it out. Write it down. Use your hand. Like, get the motion and movement, because there's something very spiritual in that connection to putting pencil to paper or pen to paper. Like, you really have to do it. Like, you have to tell the universe, I am putting the action forth to actually make this thing happen. And to do that, I'm going to spell it out. And then it happens. Right.
I love that.
Okay. So that's how I've been living my life. But clearly we can see that's how you've been living your life. And so I'm just so happy that you came on the podcast. This will definitely not be our last episode, because there is so much more to talk about. And I'm over the moon. I'm just so glad we made it work. I'm just so glad. I'm so glad. Please tell the podcast
that you are continuing to grow your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
I hope this becomes something major beyond your dreams.
Listen, I wrote it down.
Yep. And I'm happy to be a part of this. I appreciate it so much, and thank you for having me.
No, of course. Make sure you tell the podcast all the places they can find you. I'll have it, of course, linked and everything down below, but the people like to hear it.
Mm-hmm. So you can find me on Twitter at underscore I'm Danita, and then on Instagram as well. And then if you want to find my candle business, it's shop, SHOP, Shari, SHARI, co.com.
And there y'all have it. We have had our very own Danita on the podcast. Listen,
hello, New York.
I told you we have bedroom, so you let me know, okay?